Well, hello. Today's movie is the sequel to 2001, 2010, the year we make contact. It is 9 years after the ill-fated mission of the USS Discovery. The Soviets approach the former head of the past mission and offers to help them on the new expedition to Jupiter. Only the Americans can reactivate the HAL 9000 computer, and the Americans' planned ship will not make it in time before the derelict Discovery crashes into Io, Jupiter's moon. 3 American experts join the Soviet ship Leonov. They arrive at Jupiter and find that the moon of Europa shows signs of life. A force destroys a probe investigating the phenomena, and it's concluded that someone is warning them away from the moon. The Leonov aerobrake in Jupiter's atmosphere to slow down and find the Discovery derelict. They manage to reactivate the ship and the computer HAL 9000. It is discovered that HAL 9000 was ordered by the NSC to lie about the mission to the crew, which contradicted its programming, so it became paranoid. The 2 ships then investigate the giant monolith. A manned probe sent to investigate is destroyed by the monolith. Tensions on Earth over Central America force the crews to separate. Commander Bowman from the first mission appears to warn Discovery that they must leave in 2 days because something wonderful is about to happen. The 2 ships come up with a plan to leave early. They leave just as Jupiter turns into a sun. The aliens then broadcast a message for humans to never attempt to land on Europa. The new sun diffuses tensions on Earth and war is averted. Life starts to develop on Europa under the alien black monolith. So this 1984 movie is a sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey that Stanley Kubrick did, and it was based on a novel by Arthur C. Clarke. Now Clarke did write another novel, a sequel to 2001, called 2010: Odyssey 2. And apparently Kubrick had no interest in doing a sequel, but Peter Hyams was interested, and he got permission from Kubrick. And he also worked with the author, Arthur C. Clarke. Interestingly, they communicated by a very early email back in the 80s. And, it's a pretty enjoyable movie. I mean, the special effects definitely hold up even after 40 years. And I believe it got 5 Oscar nominations in various special effects categories. It made on a $28 million budget. It only made $40 million, but I guess it's not a huge loss or anything. But I'm sure it made it up in video rentals at the time. And this is, of course, Peter Hyams, I think is his name, who's done a lot of movies I enjoy. Like Outland and Running Scared, Capricorn 1, End of Days, Time Cop, Sudden Death. He's done, a lot of good movies, and this is a pretty enjoyable movie. I think, like I say, it's a lot more, approachable than, let's say, Stanley Kubrick's movie was. And you don't also have to have watched 2001 to enjoy this movie, because I know Like I said in my review in 2001, I was a pretty young kid at the time when I first saw it and got too bored and didn't watch it. But as a teenager, I rented this movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's a really good sequel. It gives you a little bit more answers from the first movie, like why Hal 9000 decided to go nuts. And of course, it has a top-notch cast of Roy Schneider, Helen Mirren, John Lithgow. I mean, I love Roy Scheider. I think all his movies are awesome. I could probably watch him just reading from a telephone book. He's so good. And this is a really great movie. And there's a little interesting trivia that there's like someone reading a Time magazine in the future, and on the covers, the president and the Soviet premier, and they used Stanley Kubrick. I mean, Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke as the presidents and the premiers. And I think this is it's obviously a bit dated. I mean, they're still talking about the Cold War tensions between the Soviets and the Americans, and a lot of the tensions in Central America. And it really does more reflect the time of the 80s than when you actually roll around to 2010, which is now quite well in the past. But, it still holds up as an enjoyable movie. I think, it's a very solid, well done science fiction story. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I think I highly recommend it. Like I say, you don't have to watch Stanley Kubrick's 2001. You could watch this one. And, it even got Keir Dullea, who was, starred in the 2001 to reprise his role. And they also got the voice that did Hal 9000 also come back. So, I've never read the books. I'd like to read the books. Arthur C. Clarke wrote, like 4 books in this. And, the other 2 books, well, there's been talk about them being made into a movie, but that's all that's ever, as far as I know, just talk. Would like to see it. And sometimes I like to read the books because I'm kind of curious to see how this does end out. So, if you stuck with me this long, I thank you. You're a unique individual.